Video.
Started. Hi. Hi everyone. Should be.
Hello.
I just hope that the connection is good. I can't really see because today is a bit far away. Okay. But I can refer it back here.
What is perform?
Yeah. Okay, let me see.
We
Right.
are just taking a bit of time to warm up.
Yeah.
Please say hello. Please type your initial comments there. We'd love to hear from you.
Okay, someone is viewing.
Yes.
Someone is there.
Mhm.
Right. Let me see. Okay, there are already people tuning in. Hi, Sasa.
Ah, Sasa.
Okay,
Hello.
Sasa is always like the first few. Okay, Corinne is there. Waisun, thanks for tuning in. We are a bit earlier today because we are not sure about how stable is the connection here. So tonight we really need your help. If you find that if the connection is not stable, please comment on the Facebook page itself so that we know. Okay, alright. We really depend on you tonight. Okay, so far everything okay, right? Can you hear me? Is it clear? Is the line clear? Can you see all the beautiful jewelry here? Of course, tonight's episode is a special episode. You can see on me it's like bling bling all the way. Okay.
Yeah, I also have some bling on me.
Okay, that's not some, that's a lot, okay? And that's bigger than mine. I'm so jealous, okay? It's not fair. Okay, as you can see that today itself, right, the Facebook Live will be a special edition of the Facebook Live itself. So we are here in Tomei Pavilion. Wow. Okay, and it's of course you can see right on the display unit here is like all the blings, which don't worry, I'm not going to go through their brochure with you. Okay, alright, so I'm going to go through like some of the products that I've specifically chosen. Okay, that actually has a very deep meanings. Okay, like a very deep meanings as in like how these products can actually help us to actually go through 2019 to make sure that we have a better year. Okay, so we're gonna explain that. Don't worry, sir, we don't have magic here. If you wear these products like us, okay, and dress yourself like Christmas trees, doesn't mean that you're guaranteed a terrific 2019. Okay, as I mentioned before, those of you who followed me before, right? Whatever your luck will only be good if you have the right action, right decision, with the right reminder for you to stay on path. That guarantees good luck.
So basically, you need a combination of everything.
Yeah.
You need to work hard. They call it humankind luck.
Yeah.
Right? And then of course you need to also be inspired and motivated enough to work hard. And that's where a lot of the conscious living comes in.
Yes, and tonight's topic, Feng Shui versus conscious living. I know, right? Okay, I know now we have not officially go into the topic yet. Now is the time for, it's like, of course, Tomei personnel at the back there, okay, there are a lot of them there, okay, help us to share this Facebook Live, and of course, I'm also sharing, thanks to Kong Yu here, helping me to share on my other pages as well, and if you're watching, please, alright, share it with your friends so that they know also the information, how to gear themselves up for the year 2019.
Correct.
Right?
Especially since it is already December 27.
Oh yeah.
How many more days? 4 more days to go.
Are you testing my calculations? 27, 28, 29, 30, 31st, yes, 4 more days.
Before 2019.
Yeah.
Of course, it's a little bit more before the Chinese New Year starts, according to the solar calendar. But we should always prepare ahead. And in fact, I believe the energies have already started to shift even before this.
Energy has already started since November 2018. So those of you who have been following my Facebook Live, you know that since November itself, right, the pig has come in. Yes, the pig. Where's the pig? That's the pig.
Where's the pig?
Okay, all right. So actually, the energy of the Earth pig of 2019 has already came in since 2018 November. So what does it mean? The pig comes in.
The pig has
those
arrived.
Of you, those of you who are just following today's episode, right, you'll be like probably scratching your head. It's like, okay, the pig comes in. So does it mean like more what, like hockey stick? Alright, so that doesn't mean that. We're going to explain what does this energy mean, right? Okay, so those of you who follow astrology, you know that all these animal signs are merely a representations of the planets, okay, in the universe. Alright, they are not like, I'm not saying that if you're born in the year of the pig or you're born in the year of the dragon that you can actually be like really prosperous like the pig, nor you can actually breathe fire like the dragon. You can't, okay? But the thing is, all these animal signs are just merely a symbolic representation of the like planets that we have in the universe itself. And each of them has different element, different attributes, okay, that will affect us. The energy will affect us differently. Just like the moon energy. Those of you who followed my winter solstice, the winter solstice episode last week, we talked about how this energy of the full moon itself is going to affect not only human. We have proven that the day just right on this winter solstice itself, you see that a big tsunami hit Indonesia. It means that this energy itself in the environment or in the universe, it is not only affecting Earth human beings, it's also affecting generally all nature. Okay, it's like how the trees grows, or like the fire element, or even like the water element in the sea. Has it not been shared?
Not yet. We're almost there, not quite.
It's still sharing. So while he's still sharing, I have to keep talking. Okay?
Then you're talking about winter solstice, a very, very important date, isn't it? So now we've passed the winter solstice, and we can safely assume that the year of the pig or the year of the boar is here.
Yeah,
correct?
So the year of the boar is already here. So what does it mean? That how can we actually, pre-equip ourselves, prepare ourselves with all the information that we're going to share with you based on the 12 animal sign. So tonight itself, we're going to share about some of the information about the 12 animal sign. Who will be the best top 4? Who will be the worst top 4? Okay, all right, but don't worry, as I mentioned before, later I'm going to share with you, does it mean that if you're ranked the last few animal signs of the year itself, it means that your year will be gloom and doom? Or does it mean that if you're ranked the first top 4, it means that guaranteed 2019 will be terrific and great for you? Not so. Always remember, as Kong Yu have actually mentioned it before, everything boils back down to heaven, earth and man, the cosmic trinity. Have you shared all?
Okay, I am set on the big iPad.
Okay.
So I'm just going to do a little bit more sharing before we really
I'm
want
going to do a
topic.
little bit more talking. Okay. All right, and of course today's topic itself, we're going to talk about Feng Shui versus conscious living. See, I'm so excited here. Okay, it's like please excuse me. Oops, I can
Sorry.
myself. It's all right. Okay, so it's like, the whole tonight's topic will be Feng Shui versus conscious living, because a lot of people has misunderstood the conception of Feng Shui. Okay, when people talk about Feng Shui, right, people can think about, okay, some like Feng Shui master go to your house and start changing it into a Chinese museum. That's Feng Shui. Or someone is asking you to buy certain things, wear certain things, put your whole body itself and dress up like a Santa Claus, or a Christmas tree. Okay, when you look like a Christmas tree and you think that is good Feng Shui, it guarantees good luck. It doesn't work that way. So what is exactly Feng Shui? And does all these little trinkets here, like whatever that I'm wearing, so those of you who see me on Facebook Live, I always put on something meaningful on myself.
And so do I.
Yes, okay. In fact, he's more. Okay, so I always have something meaningful on myself, because how does these things work? Does it mean that, whatever that Jessie is wearing or she's going through good luck, I follow and I will go through good luck as well? No, it doesn't work that way. Firstly, we need to know who we are. What is our strength? What is our weaknesses? What we need to work on in the first place. Then we need to identify what are the things that can help us to pursue that particular path itself in order to serve as a reminder. Okay, like that is the path where how the art of conscious living is going to work. So tonight we're going to talk about that. And I see a lot of comments there, and I can't really read it because it's so far away.
That's okay. We're going to take a look here.
Yeah.
Brian is online and joining us tonight. Thank you,
Alright.
Brian.
Hi, yeah. Brian was on my show last week as a guest. Okay. Hi, Serene. Serene's watching all the way from Beijing. Come back. Serene, you must visit Malaysia, and the next time you're in Malaysia, I'll bring you to Tomei. We shop together, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we also have Pearl.
Yeah.
Right, who says
Pearl.
hello.
Of course, Tomei is online as
That's
well.
right.
Okay, Pearl is there.
And
Kanapati,
yes,
hi.
hello.
Okay, thank you for tuning in.
Yep.
Right, Eyes from Singapore. Thank you for tuning in as well. Remember, come to Malaysia to buy gold. It's much cheaper.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and then Brian is there. Annie all the way from KK. Yeah, any good news for you, right? Okay, on the 18th of January.
Yes.
Okay, those of you tuning in from KK, I suppose later David and the rest of the gang will actually tune in as well. So if you're following this, right, remember on the 18th of January, all right, Tomei is actually having their CNY product range launch in Surya Sabah. Okay, and of course Tomei is also one of my main sponsor for my talk in Surya Sabah as well. All right, so if you are free on that day, I think if I'm not mistaken, it starts at 12. Is it 12? 12:30.
12:30.
Okay, so 12:30, all right, we have a party there, okay? I'll be there. It will be an official launch of their CNY products itself. So those of you in KK, you're invited. Those of you who are not in KK, you're invited too, but you have to fly over on your own expense. Okay, all right. So if you're there, please do join me on the 18th of January, 12:30 at Tomei Outlet at the Surya Mall Sabah. It is, everyone is welcome. Share it, Annie. Okay, bring everyone. Okay? See me there.
Okay.
Have a private consultation with me. I'll tell you what to buy. Oh no. what to invest on.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Okay, well, just say hi to a couple of other people.
Okay, this Chinese name I read.
Okay.
All right, Zheng Fei. Obviously, it's banana, right? Okay.
Hello.
All right. Hi. He says hi to you. Okay.
Hi, yes.
Thanks for tuning in. As I mentioned before, is it officially 9 yet?
Almost. A couple more minutes.
Couple more minutes.
Couple
Okay.
more
If you
minutes.
find that whatever that I've shared with you about tonight's topic, you think that it will be meaningful for your friends or your contacts, please do remember to share it. Okay. To share this Facebook Live so that everyone can tune in as well.
Correct.
Okay. Or if you have not liked my page, please like it and turn the notification on because next week we have another live as well, and that will be in Cantonese. Yeah.
So please do share the posts because we will be going into certain topics in about a minute's time. It is of course a preview
Yes.
to everything that is about next year, about
Yeah.
the Earth Boy year 2019.
I'm still so jealous.
Are you looking at my payout?
Of course, I'm looking at the Leo and it's much better than my this like what Siloy one. Jimmy is so small. I love that. But anyway, continue.
I have two payouts here. Right? One is a ring, and then this of course a beautiful pendant. And actually, it's my favorite celestial animal.
I know you've mentioned it all the time.
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about like what is this payout is going to do to our life in 2009? How is it going to help? Is there any magic trinkets here whatsoever? So we're going to share about that. So if you find that the topic will be useful, please share it on your Facebook, this Facebook Live itself, so that your friends can tune in as well. All right. If not, let's say if you're watching and if your husband, is not together with you, make sure you share it and make sure he watch it. Because I'm going to tell you what are the products that are suitable for you for next year so that your husband can buy for you.
Yeah, but
or
nowadays,
your boyfriends.
Yeah, but nowadays can be the other way around
Girls,
as well.
no lah, girl buy for yourself. Trust me, okay? All right, your money is your money, his money is your money.
Oh, like that, huh?
All right.
Okay, here we
Is
go.
it time? Can
Yes,
we
it is.
start?
It's sharp 8 right now, so we're gonna begin
Okay.
today's session.
All right, so officially beginning. Angeline, hi. All right, thanks for tuning in. Again, I really rely on all of you to check on our reception here because it's a new place, and I really tap in solely on my phone 4G. I'm not going to share which service provider I'm using, but it's sometimes not very smoothly. Okay,
So
I'm
far, so
finding my
good.
smoothly. So far,
Yeah.
so good. So if anything goes wrong, please do share it on the Facebook Live so that we know what's going on.
Correct.
Okay.
A quick hello to our regular supporter, Mitra.
Yeah,
Hello.
hi Mitra. You're on time, but we are early tonight.
Yes.
Okay.
So today we're going to talk about Feng Shui
Yeah.
versus the art of conscious living.
Yes.
And we're going to differentiate a little bit about both because it's good to understand how to apply all these beneficial knowledge to make our lives better.
Yeah, so I'm
Right?
going to let you start first because
Okay.
like for the past 10 minutes I've been talking non-stop. All right.
So, first we talk about Feng Shui as a whole. It's a big category. It's a term that's been used by many people, sometimes meaning different things. But when we talk about classical Feng Shui, it actually is all about the physiognomy of the land. It's about the rivers, it's about the lakes, it's about the mountains,
Yeah.
very importantly. And actually a reading of those, which is the shape of the land, also comparing it against the directions, measurements of river, pools of water, and the real concept of actually accessing the physical chi for our usage and tapping into it on the auspicious side of things to basically improve our lives. So the reading as well as of course the using and the tapping of the auspicious chi is essentially what real Feng Shui is all
Yeah,
about.
it's okay. So don't get it mistaken. A lot of time when people talks about Feng Shui, right, people start thinking about this little thing over here. Like Pei Yao means Feng Shui, okay? You have a three-legged toad means Feng Shui, okay? Right? When you have a well vase somewhere or you have a rouleau somewhere means Feng Shui. All these things is not Feng Shui, it's just an object, okay? So all these things do not have any magical whatsoever power in them. Now, real classical Feng Shui itself talk about the environment,
Right.
the energy of the environment, how we actually blend into the energy of the environment where the mountain and the water, this is like nature, energy of the mountain, because like when you talk about people go meditation, yoga, retreat and all that, people go near to mountain and water, right? Rishikesh. I saw a lot of people go there.
And
right?
many,
Beautiful.
many of our friends.
Yeah, okay, people go to
Have
mountain
gone.
and water to tap into this energy of the environment. Why is it so? Because whenever the mountain and water is present naturally, right, that area itself, you have good energies, okay? Therefore, if we bring ourselves there, it means that harnessing to this good energy, therefore, good Feng Shui. So remember, classical Feng Shui is all about natural mountain and water. Nothing to do with these beautiful little things here, okay? So this is not Feng Shui. So then, does this thing works Yes, it definitely works.
Right.
Because I've been like, wearing all these meaningful things and all that, but don't like brand it under Feng Shui. So the next thing we need to know is like, how does this thing work? Okay, so the first thing is, besides the natural environment that we have in nature, the surrounding energy, now human beings or all living beings, we also have energy.
Correct.
Okay, so now we're talking about the art of conscious living, right? We're talking about like human energy. Everyone, you, me, him, we got energy, all right? And that's when we see face aura, face reading. You can see, oh, this chi color, very good. You have no idea how to see, but somehow it just feels good. Okay, if you don't know how to see, I tell you, the next thing you look at a person who is alive and you look at the person who is dead in the coffin. There are differences. If you can't tell the difference, come and look for me. Okay, alright? Because you see, a person who's dead, right? They have no energy. There's no chi. So whatever makeup you put on their face, also, right? It doesn't glow. Okay, so that is the meaning between like alive with energy or dead without energy. Okay, so now, like, what is it so important for us to upkeep our personal energy? Right, by upkeeping our personal energy, right, we can make sure that we are always at the tip-top condition of our energy, so that we can actually reach out, like, make actions or take actions or the right actions in order to make sure that we go through good luck all the time.
Correct. So the art of conscious living, as we are defining it right now, is essentially the third part of the equation of luck, they call it, right?
Yeah.
Because we talk about Feng Shui being one key part of it, the real Feng Shui that is, and then we talk about the humankind luck. Essentially, that's what you've been referring to, which is how we empower ourselves, the physical energy that we actually have as well. Most importantly, is our mind, and how strong our mind is.
Yeah,
and
it's our conscious and also subconscious
Correct.
mind, which is very, very important, and we go into that, okay? Yeah. So basically, the art of conscious living means we have to consciously create an environment to upkeep our personal energy at its tip-top conditions or tip-top level, right? We do not let our energies where we are still alive and yet our energy as if we are dead.
Correct.
Okay, so when we are going through that condition, every year, you don't need to even check about what 12 animal sign you're in. I can tell you, if your energy level is very low, right, every year itself, your luck won't be good. Okay, that's why through face reading and all that, we can actually tell whether a person luck good or not. You don't have to know, what animal sign you are, then only tell them. Just one look at the face, you will know that this person is actually going through good luck or not. And all this is by reading the aura or the energy level of the person. So the art of conscious living is all about consciously creating our environment to upkeep this energy.
Correct, and it can be in too many forms.
Yeah.
It could be through just empowerment by quotes, quotations, affirmations, they call it. People look in the mirror and they just tell themselves that you are good, or rather, I am good, depending on how you look at the mirror image.
Yeah.
Affirmations, even things like feeling good, getting enough exercise, and in our application as well, because we like wearing auspicious products and jewelry. That is also a way actually of serving to remind us of what we need to do, what we need to remind ourselves of, as well as what we aspire to be.
Yes, okay, of course, as Kong Yu has mentioned, there are many forms of creating the environment. Part of it is like even colors, okay? That is also a part of like creating an environment so that we can actually be always at the positive side. Go move forward or move ahead. Or affirmations, as you mentioned, you can stand in front of a mirror every morning and like aggressively tell yourself that I am good, okay? Like that what Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm good, okay? But trust me, if I can actually stand in front of the mirror with all these trinkets and gold, okay, you feel better. You will be great, more than good. Imagine every morning you see like one morning you have this thing and the next morning it grows and give you like double layer of gold. Don't you think that from good you become great? Okay. So now, the art of conscious living to me is like, what is the best way for us to actually create, right, the best environment or energy for us, and yet at the same time, it can promise some investments. Of course, then, that's why I personally invest, and of course Kong Yu as well, right? I personally invest in a lot of like, meaningful gold products. And if my children are watching, 2 of them are watching here, the other 2 is like outside, and hopefully you're watching. That's why I always stop them from investing from a product that do not have any future investments. Okay, since you have to pay, there are so many things that you can pay, and at the same time, that particular product itself over time is valuable. All right, and that is art of conscious living times 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
Make the best out of everything.
And since we are about, or rather we have started a new year already, officially of course February 5th, February 4th this year, February 4th will be the day of the first day of spring. and that will be the official date. But like we established earlier on, even since the winter solstice, we have already moved into the Earth Boy year, and that's of course relating to the changes in the overall astrological field, astrological chi for the entire year. So what better way to actually capture whatever forecasts, especially on the good side, of things, than to remind yourselves through the art of conscious living, for example, through the wearing of jewelry, to remind you to head towards one path, whatever that might be forecasted that's coming your way, and that's a good thing. So to use that reminder through the usage of conscious living to strive towards those goals.
Therefore, we need to know meanings, okay? Meanings of life is very important. Knowing the meanings of the symbol, okay? The things that you actually invest on and all that, right? Okay, if you know the meanings and every day you put on something on yourself that is meaningful to you in particular, over time itself, right, you will consciously and subconsciously be affected by the meanings of that thing, okay? So it's like, you know, using external force to affect our internal mindset and thinking as well, okay? So before that also, of course, I want to share with you, you stay tuned on the final session of this particular episode itself. We'll talk about the dates of spring cleaning. Okay, spring cleaning is like, if you believe in date selection is very powerful. Okay, even up to now, you see that major like corporations and all that, okay, right, businesses, even tycoons, they believe in date selection. Okay, from like starting of a business, launching of a products, okay, or even like marriage and all that. Of course, marriage is important because it's like part of a business as well. Well, nowadays in our society, marriage is part of a business. It's important to select a date.
Correct.
So all these things is important, and at the end of the session, we'll share with you the good dates for spring cleaning.
Okay.
All right.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Why is it important to choose a correct date?
All right.
And how does it affect the success and the overall forecast for the business or for the activity that the date was chosen
Now,
for?
see, the date itself is something by the heaven. Now, see, when we talk about cosmic trinity, about luck and destiny itself, right, it comprises of the three components: heaven, earth, and man. In Chinese, we call it 天时地利人和. Now, heaven is something that on ourselves, in ourselves, we can't change things. Heaven means, right, when we were born with a certain date and time of birth. That is the date and time that's been fixed on every individual, whether you're born in what animal sign. You're a dragon, you're a tiger, you're a rooster, or you're a pig, okay? That is something that we can't change, okay? It's fixed. That's a heaven component of things, 1/3. The rest of the 2/3 is environment where Feng Shui is. Now, Feng Shui we can change. If we don't like this particular area or this Feng Shui, we can always change to another area. So this is something that within our own control. And the last part is man luck. Now, human luck or man luck itself is yan wei. Yan wei is also fully our control. Means we can decide on certain actions and decisions. Our belief, okay? We have a choice over our own emotion. That is the man luck itself. Now, out of these two, right, the heaven part is something that we cannot control, but with the usage of date selection. Now, date selection is all about calculating, okay, the how to say, the circulations of time, okay, calculating all the like planetary alignment. We calculate like when is, like, let's say lunar calendar 15, okay, where full moon, how is it going to affect, okay, the energy of the environment? Remember, the universal energy. So if we know how to calculate the date and select the best date that has the energy that affects or impacts our endeavor or our focus or our goal, that date itself will help us, instead of just harnessing the man and the environment or the Feng Shui luck, we have 3 of these components within our control. So that's why it will be like a win-win-win situation.
Okay, so that's why selecting a proper date is very important, because it helps you tweak a little bit of what's coming your way and how the heaven luck is affecting oneself, right?
Yeah. Okay, so in case, right, okay, if you can't hear us, okay, over the time itself, you will feel that we are like getting tired, okay, or our voice is like slightly slower, or somehow some screaming children out there are louder than us, right? Please type a message so that we know.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, right?
Just now, I think about a minute ago, I think we had a little bit of a slowdown in the reception. So just little things like that, but we hang in there, of course. We are still here and we will be here with the topic of the day.
So let's get into the topic first, the 12 animal sign.
Yes.
Okay, so the first thing we will talk about is, I hope that all of you know your animal sign. Okay? If you do not know your animal sign, you can go into my website, www.soleiltrinity.com. There's a free party chart that you can plot out. Okay, so if you do not know, you can plot it out now. If you know it, stay with us, don't go anywhere. So this year itself right now, one of the 4 animal signs that I want to highlight are the 4 animal signs that somehow about a piece or offense with the Tai Sui. Okay, first thing is, okay, what's Tai Sui? Okay, those of you who are Chinese or even Taoists, probably you've heard of this particular name before, because I actually run the temple. I was growing up in the temple itself, so every year people go to the temple and do this what we call Sip Tai Sui, right? So what exactly is Sip Tai Sui? How is it going to affect us? Like, why do we need to do that? So of course, I'm going to let Kong Yu to explain first what is Tai Sui, what is it called in English, what is it exactly, all right, and how is it going to affect us?
Well, essentially, we talk about Tai Sui, which is the Grand Duke. That is the prevailing dominant energy for the year, right? So that's the one way of looking at it. There's of course the spiritual Tai Sui as well, which people offer prayers to and everything. And of course, there is that 60 of these spiritual Tai Suis, which rotate, taking the turns to basically rule the year.
I seriously believe that this 60 spiritual Tai Sui that the Taoist people go and pray and all that, right? It does mean that the energy Tai Sui of the planets alignment that's affecting us. So overall Tai Sui just means Grand Duke Jupiter. It's planet Jupiter. So those of you, okay, let's go into some some stargazing first, okay? So when we talk about astrology or Chinese metaphysics, right, okay, it's merely not about like the animal sign. All these animal signs are in the olden days, right? People actually put up something that laymen, because in the olden days, we're talking about thousands of years ago. When you talk about, oh, Jupiter la, Venus la, Mars la, people have no idea what you're talking about. So the thing is, the astrologer back at those times, right, when they identify these planets and its attributes, they will start looking for animals that these lay people know, this layman knows by heart. Means every day they see the cow works hard, okay? Every day they see the pig prosperous, okay? So that's why they put onto this animal sign to take over the name of the planets, so that they don't have to educate too much, okay? Just tell them, oh, this particular year if you're born, you're a pig, okay? So this year you're born, you're a dragon. And then these people have no idea, they just follow through. So if you really study back, right, all these animal signs just means that it represents one of the planet in our planetary system. And of course, Tai Sui represents the Grand Duke Jupiter.
Correct.
Okay, and Grand Duke Jupiter is also the biggest, okay, or the fastest moving planet, okay, in our, how to say, universe itself, okay? So therefore, when you have the biggest planet, now imagine, right, imagine last week itself, when you have full moon, the moon itself, right, the energy of the moon itself is going to impact planet Earth, the water element on the earth itself. When full moon, you have like high tide, okay, then you have low tide, all this is affected by the moon. Therefore, last week we have a super full moon, we've talked about winter solstice where the vortex open and you have a tsunami happening. Okay, so we talk about the moon, which is not that big. The impact is so great. Now, what about Grand Duke Jupiter? Jupiter is actually the biggest planet among all the planets, okay, right, in the universe itself. So when this Jupiter itself, right, okay, whenever it goes to a different alignment, anyone that is in connection with that alignment is going to be greatly affected by it. Just think about it as your Wi-Fi. If you're connected to a certain Wi-Fi, right, okay, right, some people can connect, some people cannot connect. If you're connected, that Wi-Fi will affect you greatly. If you can't connect, you are not affected by it. Okay, so when the Jupiter, when it actually orbits around, every alignment with every degree, it has an impact of different planets in the whole orbits. Okay, so these different planets are represented by different animal signs as well. So in 2019, okay, of course, who are the animal signs that will be affected?
Okay, of course, the first one is the actual animal of the year.
Yeah, we have it here. I'm not sure we can see it.
Even though it looks like a pig.
Sorry, a non-halal content.
It is a very cute pig, but...
we try to look for a cute one.
This one is pretty cute.
Yeah.
Really cute. Okay, so shall we, you want to list all four first or you want?
Yeah.
Okay,
we let them see first. I'm sure they're very eager now.
Another one, of course, that's always highlighted, right? No matter what astrology reading that you follow, of course, is the animal sign that's directly opposite the pig. And in this case, of course, it would be the snake.
Alright. The snake itself,
and then
the pig.
We have two other stars as well.
With the tiger.
It's the tiger.
Yeah,
which
it is a tiger.
My year of birth. And of course, Jessie also has a tiger in the part chart. Okay, and the last one is the monkey. Okay,
so now, if you are born in any of these four different animal sign years, okay, either you have a pig, you are a snake, you are a tiger, or you are a monkey, generally in 2019, you have offended the Tai Sui, the Grandeur Tai Sui.
Okay.
So, okay, offended, what does it mean? Now, Tai Sui, as I mentioned, right, is the Grandeur Jupiter, means the biggest planet right itself. Now, we're having a party here. It's getting like more...
festive.
Yeah, festive over here. So it's like, if you can't hear us, please comment, okay, on the Facebook comment below. So I say, 2019 itself, these 4 animal signs will be the one like directly affected by this Grandeur Jupiter, means the biggest planet energy. So when the planet energy affects us, right, means that generally it makes us feel more emotional. Okay, it will affect a person to feel more emotional. Somehow it's like how the moon affects the water. Water is like rise and like, you know, it goes down, up and down, up and down. It's just like our emotion in a human being. Okay, our emotions is not like, we don't stay in the same emotion for a very long time. Okay, like even though if you're happy, you cannot be happy for a very long time. Imagine like, you know, from the morning when you wake up, you laugh until the night when you sleep, you have a problem. Okay, so we cannot stay in the same emotion. Our emotions fluctuates. Okay, all right. Every moment it changes. One moment we are pissed off, one moment we are frustrated, another moment we are happy. So when the Grandeur Jupiter affecting these 4 animal signs, it means generally these 4 animal signs here in 2019, you'll be more emotional comparatively to the years before, or comparatively to the other animal signs.
Okay, the only thing is something to keep in mind, right? Because traditionally people will go to the temple to offer prayers, for example, for the animal signs which are affected or offends the grandeur. Okay, but here's the thing though, just because an animal sign is offending the grandeur, correct me if I'm wrong, it doesn't mean that the year is bad.
Yeah,
for that animal
definitely.
sign.
As I mentioned earlier on, right, okay, this year if you find that your animal sign is the last in the 12 ranking animal, as like the worst with no auspicious star, doesn't mean it's going to be a bad year for you. It doesn't mean that if your animal sign is the best on the first position, you mean that you will guarantee a good year ahead. Okay, at the end of the day, this is just a reference point. You still need the right actions, okay, the right decisions. That's why wearing something symbolic and meaningful is that important to us, because throughout the year, New Year resolutions, today is 27 already, right? I know some of you here already have a list of New Year resolutions that you have, okay? But trust me, by the 2nd week of January, all of us will forget.
I mean, yeah, maybe second month.
Nah, trust me, 2nd week, all of them forget already.
So fast,
Yeah, they were thinking about CNY dishes, low sang. Okay, alright. Really, so a lot of time we make certain reservations, right? But then after that we forget about it. Now, how can we actually remind ourselves to pull through all this goal throughout the year? That's why getting something symbolically like meaningful to us, or whatever purpose that we want to achieve that year. So we're going to share with you these 4 animal signs, what is their issues, what is their problem, and how to actually mitigate that problem.
Correct. And sometimes it's not really a problem, right? Just because you feel emotional, it doesn't mean that your forecast is actually not so good for the animal sign. Because 2 out of these 4 actually have pretty auspicious stars in their sign for the year.
Alright,
So,
actually 2 of these 4 animals, right, is actually the top 4. Alright, of the top 5 animals lah. So it's actually pretty good. So now, generally, if you are offending Tai Sui, there are 4 different ways to offend. You see, Chinese people we very detailed one, you know. Okay, offend 唔夠嘅. You someone need 4 different ways to offend.
yeah.
Okay, alright. So if you see right now, the pig itself, because it's the year of the pig, they call 本命年. Right, when you are born in the year of pig, next year 2019, you not only somehow in a way offend the Grandeur Jupiter or offend Tai Sui, right? You also have what we call a self-punishment.
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, what does that mean?
Okay, particularly for a few of the animal signs, in this case, it's the pig. The year is particularly sensitive to the same animal sign. So normally already the animal sign of the year is considered offending the grandeur, because it is a year that is supported by a lot of strong energies. So hence causing a lot of emotions also, and a lot of, in a way, I wouldn't say turmoil, but because there's a lot of things happening for the animal sign of which the year it is. It is can be draining, it can be confusing, it can also be confused, cause a person to be very flustered, a bit lue in the thinking.
So generally, like when we call like this the year of the pig, you're born in the year of pig 2019, you have this very high tendency, what we call the Loligin tendencies. You know what's Loligin? Loligin is Cantonese, Loligin. Okay. Alright, English called self-punishment.
Self-punishment.
Okay. So the first thing is all the pigs, if you're born in the year of pig, first thing is you have to remind yourself in 2019, any endeavors, any actions, any decisions that has a tendency to lead you towards your lollyginness, don't do. You know what's a lolly genius, right? Okay, so what you need to do is like you always need something self-sabotage, right? You need to always have something to remind you to stop self-sabotaging yourself. Now, have you seen friends, people around you or whatever, right? Okay, they'll say that, oh, you know, it's like I trust this friend so much, I lend them money already, but they never give it back to me. Sounds familiar, right? Then the next thing is they go and lend some more. Yeah, then I lend them again, and never give it back to me. This one called 攞你錢.
Yeah. Self-punishment generally, right? Now, for the sign of the ball or the pig, right? Is there any particular type of law-laziness that is more typical of the pig animal sign?
Emotional laziness.
Okay.
Right, because pig itself, right, is a water element. So in like 2019 itself, right, the water is very strong, right? The chances is like all these piggies out there, right, they are like emotionally, they're overwhelmed with their own emotions, and at the end of the day, they will do something to self-sabotage themselves. So remember, if you're born in the year of a pig, right, okay, the year itself wouldn't be that bad. It would be smooth as long as you remember to don't self-sabotage. And you don't self-sabotage, how to do it? It means everything that you do, it needs to come from the heart. Okay, it doesn't need to come from your mind, logic mind so much. It means that you have to do something in order to make other people feel happy. Example, you know, a lot of times, right, recently there was this particular person was telling me, if other people happy, I'm happy, lor. Well, if that is your choice, okay, you deserve to be sad. And you deserve to be taken advantage of. Really? It's like, what do you mean if other people happy, I'm happy? It's like, what is that? First thing is, you need to be happy first and other people will be happy. Because if you don't have the happiness of energy of happiness in you, how are you going to spread it out to other people? Okay? So always remember that. It's like, whenever we keep telling ourselves, might not be the right thing. So if you're born in the year of pig, right, you have to start re-examining what are the reaffirmations that you're giving yourself. Okay, so yeah, any piggies out there?
Yeah, let us know.
And it's like, if you're born in the year of pig, right? Okay, right, let us know. Then I can tell you, right, what are the things, hi Ayaka, okay, it's like, what are the things that, you know, you probably can do in order to mitigate this emotional turmoil that you have throughout the year itself.
Well, does that mean that because it is self-sabotage, self-punishment, in the sign of the pig, right? Does that mean that it's better, or maybe one way to minimize is to actually, you know, check out or counsel maybe like a few really, really good friends? You know what I mean? Like, can you ask them for advice?
Again, you see, I will always like suggest you to actually either you look for expert advice, all right, or you ask your own heart. Now, friends' advice is one thing that I am not very like how to say I don't recommend. Because you see,
really?
also depends on what type of friends you are, okay, or what type of friends you have around you. If let's say if you're that emotional person that always like to lollygene and self-sabotage yourself, right? Birds of a feather flocks together. The chances is most of your friends are the same similar thing, okay? So they will advise you the same thing because they are friends. That's why they stay with you at the same, how to say, level, friends. So if you're here, they are also here. If you're here, they're also here. So when you have problem, you want to rise out. Forget about asking, like, you know, friends' advice unless your friends are doing something professionally, okay? Like me, helping people to look into their life. Don't come to me for free advice, okay? I will charge you with with Tomei pendants. Oops. All right. So in a way that, okay, remember whatever that you do itself, right? Okay. So always remember, try to look for expertise. Okay. Try to look for a person that is good enough and fit enough to advise you. A lot of time people just go for friends' advice. Your friends can actually okay, because they are full of fear itself, and they will just like, you know, push you towards that particular path that they're going through. So forget about friends' advice, go for expertise, whatever that is good.
So expert advice can ask.
Yeah.
Right? Friends' advice, don't trust so much.
Yeah, unless your friends
hard,
are
right?
really like successful in that particular field itself.
Okay.
Okay,
Right. So
if you're asking about relationship advice and all your friends are single, divorced, okay, they're also having a relationship problem, why on earth do you want to ask them? Okay, they have not made any progress in that particular aspect anyhow. Okay.
A quick hello to Reka Boon Chuan, right? CK, Kelvin, Michael, Emmy, Ayaka says hi to you.
Yeah.
Right, and Angela as well.
Okay. So the thing is, the next one is of course the snake, because we have a lot of animal science to cover, right? Okay. So the snake itself, right, for next year it is a clash tai sui. Now clash tai sui means chung tai sui.
Right.
Okay. So what does it mean by clashing tai sui?
The opposite energy to the main energy of the year, in this case, of course, reflected in the pig
The
yellow.
pig and the snake.
Correct,
So
yeah.
for those of you born in the year of the snake, right, you expect that in 2019 itself there will be changes coming in. All right, means something or some aspect of your life itself will change, either from a relationship perspective. Now, remember, change doesn't mean it's bad. Okay, change doesn't mean it's bad all the time. Now, change means like from single to married, that's changes. Okay, so if you're like born in the year of the snake, so next year there will be changes happening in your environment, be it in terms of your relationship, be it in terms of your career. All right, so allow this change to happen. Just make sure that it is a positive change. It means it's a change to bring better, the best out of you.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And then a couple of additional information as well, particularly for the clash to the pig, clash to the snake, excuse me, due to the pig year, is that due to the fact that the snake and the pigs are actually what we call movement animals, right? Animals that, animal signs that usually in the interpretation of party have to do with movement, have to do with even travel. So the indications are also on those particular aspects.
A lot of movements, a lot of changes, like it can be like moving
moving
around, move
Correct.
house, okay?
Yes.
Now, another thing is when you clash here, right, we also deem it as a year breaker. Okay, and normally we have this Tai Ho star, a great consumer star, always comes together with the animal that clashes, the Tai Sui. So the snake itself, right, in 2019, you have what we call a Tai Ho, and also this whatever beside the year breaker. Okay, the year breaker star itself means what? In general, year breaker and Tai Ho means, right, Paul Choi. So in the olden days when people do readings, right, whenever they see this particular star itself, right, they will freak out and they will tell you, oh, in 2019 your money will go out, it will Paul Choi, because it break your wealth vast. Okay, so now nowadays, right, when we do all these readings, we always tell people, right, say all the stars itself, if you know beforehand, right, even negative stars can bring positive results, because it's all about strategy. So if you know that, for those of you born in the year of the snake, you know that somehow if your money needs to go out, you just have to make sure that the money goes to somewhere which is like, you know, purposeful.
Correct.
Example, if you spend your money on something that doesn't guarantees you any return of investment, that's a waste of money. That is truly means poor choice. But now that you know that since 2019 will be a year that you cannot keep the money anyway, all right, might as well you use this money to invest on something.
Correct. So there are many ways you can invest. One is, of course, you can actually think of putting in a sum into marketing, for example. You can put it into advertising. You can put it into a purchase of a long-term asset.
Long-term assets. And for me, right, those of you who know me, I actually started collecting gold, right, since at that time, right, per gram of 916 gold is only 32 ringgit per gram. That is back in, like, that's not too long ago. It's like in the 90s, mid-90s or 97, that's still 32 ringgit. Now just a blink of the eyes, right, okay, you really look at today, it's like 916, right, it ranged up to like 188 at least per gram. Now imagine every time if you purchase something that over time itself, the appreciation of that value is going to grow, that is an investment. It means those years when I started, like, you know, accumulating all these products, right, those years itself, I deem it as poor choice. It means the money needs to go out. But over time, without even realizing it, right, okay, it will all come back, not even triple fold, it's more than that. Imagine 32 ringgit, okay, up to now it's 188. Okay, that is like, how many folds? You are the maths guy here. So, how many times is that?
You're putting me on the spot. How many times?
At least 4 times
about
more.
that.
At least more than 4 times, okay? Now imagine not only that, because all the time, okay, I can still wear those things. Every now and then I've been wearing them, it looks good, it makes me feel good, but at the same time it is also making money over the years for you. Okay, so if you're born in the year of the snake, even though you offend Tai Sui in the year of like clashing it makes you poor choice throughout the year itself. Now make sure that you're conscious enough to spend your money into something which is meaningful, at the same time it has a guaranteed return of investment. That will be at least how we can actually make use of our animal signs. Okay.
Yes.
All right, the next one.
Speaking of which,
monkey and the tiger. Now monkey itself, right, okay, don't fret out so much. Even though you are like harming the grandeur Jupiter, there's a harm relationship there. It means that just in year 2019 itself, make sure that you stay away from like emotional impact. Means like try to stay away from, like, you know, office politics and all that. Okay, all the small little petty things. As long as you stay away from the small little petty things and focus on to whatever you want to achieve in 2019, it will be a terrific year for you because monkey is one of the top 4 animal signs. Yeah, monkey is actually very good.
Your top 4. Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll talk a little bit more about those positive aspects.
Yeah, we will go into that.
That's
so,
right.
For those of you born in the year of monkey itself, right, make sure just stay away from pettiness, right? The year itself will be very good. From what aspect, we will touch on that later.
Correct, in a short while, right?
Yeah.
And then of course the 4th animal that falls under the category of having an offending relationship with the Grand Duke is the tiger.
Tiger.
Yes.
Because tiger has a relationship we call 雙破太歲 or destruction. Now destruction, right, okay, in a way that, you know, you have to get rid of the old so that you can welcome the new one. Okay, so destruction is always a destructive of an old idea and old objects and old environment and come up with a new one. So if you're born the year of tiger itself, right, probably it's a good time for you to think about, like, you know, to, how to say, refocus your purpose in life, refocus your goal. Whatever mentality or beliefs that you might have or the mindset you might have, you have to re-examine them, right? If it's not like giving you any progressive change, if it's not bringing you any, like, any good, okay, it is time to like remove it, let go of it, so that you can allow new things to come in.
Okay. So that's the key for the tiger.
Yeah.
And even though, you know, I am born a year tiger, so a little bit biased, but not too bad, right? Other than that destruction, that change,
You see,
that
at the end of
I
the
have to
day,
do
right,
what we have to do.
none of the impact of the stars or inauspicious stars itself is going to be bad, right? The purpose is we need to know, even the most negative star, if you know how to make use of it, it will turn positive, right? I always say, even though if you're surrounded with a lot of, like, people say 小人, petty people, a lot of gossips, all these petty people, pettiness around you. But do you know that a lot of times people also becomes like shoots to stardom or gets a lot of attention through all this pettiness also? Right, like the share market. The share market needs someone to actually spread out, okay, some news, okay, in order for them to either go up or go down. Okay, the news in order to like spread out and all that is very important. So if you have a stars that affect you that particular year, that says that probably you have a lot of all these gossips, pettiness and all that, you can also make the best out of it. Make use of that on the positive side to guarantee a positive return. So always remember, do not live in fear. There's always ways and strategies for you to actually overcome all these inauspicious stars as long as we know. Because when you're aware of it, it helps you to dissolve and mitigate all this negative impact of the stars.
Okay,
all right.
So now we've gone through the 4 animals that basically are in an offending relationship with Grand Duke. Okay, here's the thing though, what would you recommend as a good reminder to take note of? That means whenever we wear a particular object, for example, then we are reminded that, oh, okay, this year I'm like this year maybe I'm in a harm relationship with my animal sign with the bull or the pig year, or maybe this is my clash year. So what would you recommend?
Now, in general, you know that when you go against the Grand Duke Jupiter, right, okay, or Feng Shui, right, it's all emotional related. It means whatever bad luck that you're going to create for yourself, right, is actually due to your own emotional, like, mismanagement. You can't manage your own emotions. You suddenly becomes like, aggressive or impulsive and all that, and like, after that you actually get yourself into trouble. So the best thing is, of course, look for something that generates or reminds you to stay calm. Anything that reminds you, okay, to actually like think twice before making any decisions or making any actions, all right? Or anything, let's say for instance, if you know that yourself is at the brim of your relationship having a lot of obstacles, it means that your relationship is the thing that is always giving you all this emotional turbulence inside you. Then you should look for something that is going to remind you on the relationship aspect of your life.
Okay.
All right, and of course there are plenty of things here.
Yeah.
Now one thing here is I like the pearls. I don't think the pearls are actually part of their CNY products, but it is very beautifully displayed here. Now I've always actually recommended either jade or pearl because these are the two very, how to say, appeasing energies. It's a very calming energy.
Right.
So the energy of the pearl and also the energy of the jade itself, right, is actually very calming. It always reminds, especially the pearl, right? Now the pearl reminds you that through any, how to say, imperfection, okay, anything which is imperfect in you, that eventually it can be polished up to something which is very valuable. It means bad things happens to you to build a gem out of you. Just like the pearls. You know pearls, it builds it because in this clam or the oysters itself, right, it's just maybe a residue of like some stones or something that it keeps on hurting them. So when it's hurt so much that they actually keep on like, throwing out this particular like enzymes to like, cover the that stones itself, okay? And the more they actually put out to cover it, okay, the more valuable and the more precious it. But it all started with either this dust or stone, which is an irritable thing inside them. So when you wear the pearl, or those of you who love pearl, if you invest or buy something in the pearl itself, right, you know that you're the type of person that you will, they say, you mean you're very tough. You are like, you have a lot of grit in you. Grit in itself, G-R-I-T, not G-R-E-E-D, okay? You have a lot of grit. Means that in a way that you know that all, like, heartbreaks or all disappointments is just a platform to make a better version of you, okay? So that is like when you have pearl and jade, is this like, all this is reminding us to be patient, okay? Because jade is something of the longest histories in terms of gemstone in China itself, okay? If you look at like the gemstones, right, jade has been used since like now 9,000 years ago. If you really go and Google the history of jade, right, since all this while, people has been utilizing jade, and it has officially been used as a royal gemstone since 5,000 years ago, which is like 3000 BC, before Christ, okay? So if you look back at this, right, jade is something that have totally withstand the test of time. It means this person they're very patient, okay, and they are very solid, okay, they're very solid, they're very patient, they can go through everything patiently. So if you find that just here itself, when offending the Tai, so it makes you emotionally like affected, getting something calming energy like this will be very good. All right, or if not, get a wulo.
Right.
Yeah.
That's always a good one, and there are also over selections here in Tomei that are made of jade.
Yeah.
Yes.
In fact, there are a lot. I'm actually eyeing on this.
This
which
one
is a very new collection.
So
they don't have a physical stock here yet. Okay, I really want to get my hands on this one because it really looks like very elegant. It looks very good, and I personally like jade.
Jumping ahead a little bit, this is a wulo.
Yeah, and this is also a
pendant.
wulo.
Yes,
Okay,
correct.
wulo with a ring. Now, ring always means like in harmony. Right, when you have something like round shape, right, in the ring pattern and all that, and with a wulo in the center, it always means that in harmony. So if you want to bring harmony to the environment, it can be a relationship, it can be a family, or it can be also like the business environment. You want everyone to be in a very harmonious sort of environment. Something which is in a rounded shape is good. That's why in the Feng Shui perspective, right, we always tell people, all right, don't put sharp edges in your home. Okay, because the house itself is something that we want it to be peaceful and in harmony. So we always try to avoid things with a lot of like sharp pointy edges and all that.
Right, so everything smooth.
Right, smooth, okay,
rounded edges,
that will be better.
Including, of course, what you wear
Yeah.
on the body, right? For me, just a quick recommendation. Okay, because I love the piao. I said it's my favorite celestial animal, right? And for me, particularly, is something that I am very, in a way, I really like the way they are because they don't exist, but they do remind me actually of tigers or lions, anything along the cat family, right? That's fierce. So for me, anything that's payao related, to me, it's about recognizing the grandeur, the effects of the grandeur and all that. So that's my personal recommendation.
All right. So as long as it brings a a symbolic meaning to you.
Correct.
Now it's very important. Now some of you might say that, oh my God, it's like if I wear all this symbol out and stuff now, it doesn't need to be this bold all the time. Now you wear this is like normally during some some maybe night outs and all that. Okay. So on the daily maybe you can actually choose something more subtle. But all these symbols, right, don't look down on it. Because if you really go into a scientific approach of a study of a human mind, right, the subconscious mind, which is also the most powerful mind, that governs 90% of our mind itself, right, is actually very related to symbols. Means the mind can automatically read symbols. Okay, that's why if you give a certain symbols, right, okay, somehow you'll be able to actually relate to it. In the ancient time, in the Greek mythology, Egyptians and all that, right, all the way down to the caveman era, right, they don't write in alphabets. Okay, they just actually encrypted everything in symbols. So whenever we have all these symbols in us, right, we don't only consciously remind ourselves, but subconsciously it also will affect us, our mindset, our thinking. Okay, so it will affect our energy subconsciously as well. That's why it's very important for us to know or buy something that is meaningful to us.
Correct.
Right?
Yes. Okay, now we move on to the other spectrum,
Yeah.
right, of animal signs.
So we're going to talk about what now? So we're going to talk about the animal signs. Okay, now we can cover 8 more different aspects. So 2 aspects of it is like the animal sign with the most inauspicious stars.
Right.
Okay, so we talk about the not so great animal sign first. So all these animal signs are the ox, rooster, dog, and the goat. So we can do a flip here. Okay. Right. The dog, the ox, the rooster, and the goat.
Okay, the ox is here. So now
Okay.
changing fields, and of course if you just join us, we are live now at the Tomei Boutique in Pavilion.
Yeah. Okay, now, so these 4 animal signs, okay, the not so good news is this year itself you have more inauspicious stars rather than the auspicious one. Okay, so this year itself you have more tests, okay, or more obstacles in front of you. But the good news is it doesn't mean that it will be a bad year for you. It will only be a bad year for you if you actually allow yourself to go with the flow of the stars. It means that the year dictates that this year you have bad stars means you're bad. It means you're not taking action for yourself. You're not taking charge of your life. Therefore, you are going through bad luck. But for you, if you are prepared to actually take, actions to change, to actually mitigate, right? There are things that are you can actually focus on, okay, to set as a reminder for yourself. Okay, so the 4 animal signs.
Okay.
Talk about the ox first.
Let's start with the ox.
Yeah.
Let's move the ox right here for a short while.
Yeah.
Okay, the issue with the ox is mainly a lot of negativity.
Yeah.
Right? From the self, and that's the origin, right? You feel a certain way, you feel like maybe you've been wronged, maybe people are not treating you so well. But guess what? Actually, it's an internal feeling.
Yeah, because the ox actually has a residue of 2018. Because 2018 is the year of dog, right? Dog and the ox itself will form a bullying punishment. So those of you who are born in the year of the ox, right, you might feel bullied. You feel victimized, okay? You feel that things are not fair, okay? How come is that all the good things don't come to be and stuff like that? Now, this is just a mere sort of like, your mindset. It's just what you feel. It might not be true, okay? So one thing is for the ox itself, right, okay? You have to actually get rid of all this heaviness. Means like, try to avoid getting into the environment where it's very negative. Because it's already in you, right? The chances of you being negative is already high. Right, having negative thoughts is already high. So if you keep on surrounding yourself in an environment which is also very negative, people like complaining all the time, people victimizing themselves all the time, it will get worse for you. Okay, so what the ox can do in 2019 is always try to create a positive environment for you, vibrant, more yang. Okay, so make sure that your house Feng Shui environment, everything is more yang energy. Make sure that you open up, okay, all the windows, okay, and the curtains, so that the sunlight can actually penetrate in.
Right.
That is one of the ways to actually make sure that your environment is more yang. And then another thing is, of course, instead of listening to all these like sad love songs, which I don't understand why a lot of people, right, say that, okay, they are very sad, oh, I'm sad, okay, I have like no love, and then still, yet they want to listen to all this sad love song. No idea. Okay, so if you're born in the year of the ox, okay, remember 2019, change all your sad love song collections, okay? Go and listen to something more upbeat, okay, more motivational. Okay?
The type of music that I usually prefer.
Yeah, okay, so instead of watching all this Korean drama or this Taiwanese drama that every time you have to finish up one box of the tissue box there, sobbing, crying away, I also no idea. Okay, alright? Right, instead of watching all this, right, watch something more like, more hopeful, more happy.
Uplifting.
Yes, uplifting.
Yeah.
Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins is very uplifting, okay?
Yeah.
So try to actually go and do something like this instead of like creating the environment to make yourself more sad, more negative. Okay, and of course, you can also try to get something of a very positive symbol for you. Now, the ox feel bullied. Feel bullied means you feel victimized, ma. You feel that you are like, you're small. You feel that you don't have you don't have the energy, you don't have the power over things, okay? Therefore, getting something that relates to power, to reminds you that you are great on your own, that you have the power, you are responsible for your own self is very important. And of course, from the range here, right, I mean, needless for me to say, anything that resembles or reminds us of power will be, of course, the Pisio. Okay, Peiyao itself is something that actually reminds us of power as well. And of course, if you look at the dragon range, they have a lot of dragon range here.
They do.
And this is something that I truly like.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it on now.
Okay.
Okay, now you can see here, not only it reminds us of power, because the whole dragon itself is actually carved out like very nicely, like majestically carved out. You can see the head there, powerful. And then you also have the eyes itself is actually crafted in ruby. Now ruby is a fire element. Fire, and of course with dragon is also a fire element. It actually brings up the fire energy. Okay, so whenever you look at anything that resorts to a fire element, right, it reminds you that instead of being like safe or like that, like no fire like that, right, it reminds you to stay at the top of your passion, at the top of your fire element. You have to be like energetic. Okay, so when you put this on, like one of the advantage of this is I did ask for my size earlier on, okay, but they do not have my size, okay, because I really love this piece. They also have the abacus there. Right, okay, so you can see here, okay, right, the abacus is which is like the Xunpun. It means not only it reminds you to actually stay at the top of the game, your energy, it also reminds you to be like, I won't say calculative, but again, you won't be like, you won't fall victim to other people's plot or scheme. Okay, because you see, you always have a choice to say no. If you find that people is trying to take advantage of you, people is trying to like make use of you, you have a power to say no. But the thing is, a lot of people feels bad when they have to say no. They feels bad when they have to tell, okay, someone no. Okay, so when you feel bad, okay, to tell people, it means that you deserve the bullying punishment. Alright, so you need someone to remind yourself. And like, let's say features like this will be very good. Like the dragon is of a very yang energy. And of course, if you are petite, you're small size, okay, you're not as like big size as me, then you can also consider getting like, these charms, because yeah, these are the charms, which is like very cute, which I find that because each of these is like bought separately. You can actually slowly, right, okay, accumulate this.
Every time you need a boost of reminder.
Or you can like, this is something that I will definitely ask Anne, my daughter, to actually get. Because like every year she's been collecting since like last year itself, right? She's been collecting a piece of gold every year. And this is like something that, well, you can just keep on to your collection. So every year it reminds you of something that you want to achieve. And I find that this is like, it's very cute and it's very nice.
Yeah, or every few months if you need another boost or reminder,
you can just add it on.
Correct, just add it on, right? Because one season you might feel a little bit more discouraged. One season you might feel that you're getting attracting a lot of pettiness and gossip, and then you just keep adding the charms to it.
Yeah, right? And I'll ask my daughters to buy this.
Okay,
it's like
good
even
idea.
my daughter at 14-year-old, they are already making money part-time. So
Okay,
that's the purpose of
quick
it.
hello to Oscar, to T.S. Lim, as well as Sasa.
Right.
And then we move on to the next animal sign, shall we?
Yeah,
Okay,
alright.
let's move on to the rooster.
Now, the rooster.
Okay.
Of course, the next animal sign which is not so good in terms of the auspicious stars is the rooster. Now, one of the things that the rooster have to pay attention to is one of the inauspicious stars is a broken star. Now, what does this broken star, Po Sui Sat? Po Sui Sat means, right, generally in the olden days, it's like a curse, It's a curse that somehow something is bound to break in 2019.
Okay, break means?
Now, break means, okay, like either you physically break something, especially those of you, right, okay, if you've been always very clumsy, okay, right, not very careful with the things that you're doing, and you have to handle like maybe like expensive or important things, you have to be very careful because chances of breaking things is higher.
Okay, so literally breaking something.
Yeah, really breaking something. But not only physically breaking something, it means that maybe breaking relationship, breaking ties is also breaking. Right, so in 2019, the rooster have to pay attention to like, in a way that they have made a choice to break something. It can be relationship, means out of like emotional or like, out of like insecurity or whatsoever, they have actually decided or say something that eventually can actually affect the relationship itself. Okay, so the broken star is something that the rooster have to pay attention to, especially when it comes to relationship. Okay, because nowadays, right, a lot of times, right, every simple little things they say, 分手啦. It's like, okay, let's end it. Okay, now again, you see, that is not what you mean inside you. Sometimes it can be just the emotions that's been affected by all this negative animal sign. Okay, so it will be important for you to remind yourself, okay, whenever you want to say something to break anything, right, to break a tie, to break a relationship, to break a partnership, to break a deal, okay, always ask yourself to think twice or remind yourself to actually like, reconsider. Think thoroughly first. okay, before you actually make the decision. Okay.
Okay.
All
So,
right.
and the other thing about the rooster as well, it also is the main metal chi animal of the entire 12 animal signs, right? So, and then what we have in the boy here is actually more of a woody, wood type energy that is the prevalent energy, besides of course the obvious energies of water and also earth. So what happens is that because the rooster is in opposition to that wood energy, so it also is affected by what is known as the calamity sha, right? Which is basically the indication of physical injury, maybe even things like getting cheated and things like that, right? So in addition, of course, there's also the sky dog star.
Okay.
That's in the rooster
Sky dog,
palace.
sky dog also actually indicates a lot of like how to say injuries
Physical
as well. It's
scarring.
like in a way scarrings or injuries. So overall, the rooster, remember, 2019 is a year where we have to remind ourselves to be extra careful. Right? Extra careful of your verbal communications, extra careful with your action and all the single little things that you do.
Right.
So out of the range here, okay, what are the things that can always remind us to be very careful?
Okay.
精打細算, very careful.
Yeah, my favorite would be the wulo.
The wulo.
Yes.
Yeah, the wulo is like protection, it's safety, okay, that will help you to actually like mitigate, always remind you of like protection and safety. Means you have to be extra careful. So wulo is something that it can actually help as well. Now for me, it's also, of course, like strategizing, because when it comes to business and all, we always strategize a lot, okay? So it's always like, you know, like how to actually calculate everything first before we actually come up with a conclusion. Okay, let's say we jump into a conclusion of like separations or breaking a deal. It's all a conclusion, but before we really go and calculate everything in hand, all right, we shouldn't jump into a conclusion.
Okay.
So therefore, right, okay, when it comes to this circumstance, I always advise people to get something relating to reminder of like calculations.
Okay.
And of course, abacus is one thing.
Oh.
And you know, because they have a really
Literally
good big range of
calculations.
abacus, and one of
Okay.
the things like for ladies, right, I really like this one. Because it's very gentle, it doesn't look like chunky. It's something that you can wear every day, right? Okay, it is like with a flower and you have the abacus. Now, when you look at the abacus, right, one thing, always pay attention into like how many beads of abacus that they have in every line.
Oh, really?
Okay, every single little line. Okay,
Okay.
actually I've counted all their beads. Okay, okay. Luckily it conforms.
Okay.
Because you see, we wouldn't want to firstly have like how to say a even number. It's always better to have odd numbers, because when it comes to like metaphysics or I Ching, right? Okay, the concept or principle of I Ching is odd numbers is actually yang, okay, even numbers is yin. We want to wear something auspicious, means we want to wear something which is yang, okay, active, okay. So odd numbers is like 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. All these are odd numbers. And a lot of like, okay, how to say, contradictory to popular belief, right? People like number 8, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but when it comes to counting of like objects, like for instance, like if you buy a basket with the beads, right? Okay, try to get in one row itself, they have 7 rather than 8, because in Chinese there's this saying called 七成八百. If you know Chinese,
You
like
actually
you will know.
counted this.
I actually counted it.
Very small.
Of course, you have to count because it's
Okay.
symbolic. Everything like in small details. Their range, they only have either 5 or 7,
So
which
we
is
do.
good.
Okay, so we don't need like 8. We don't need part.
We don't, because normally
want
because
7,
people
7,
like 8,
5.
because Chinese we always like 7. Because why? There's a phrase that we call 七成八百. Because 8 itself, right, we don't want something full. We want something about to be full. Okay, because it's full means the next thing is like there's no room for
No
growth.
more fuller.
Okay, so when 7 itself is always, and 7 is a spiritual number, don't
Right,
forget that.
right,
Okay,
right.
so 7 is a very magical, mythical, spiritual number as well. You can see that there are 7 days, okay, in a week. There are also 7 notes in the music, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la. Okay, so 7 itself, we also 7 colors in the rainbow. So 7 is itself is a very, how to say, a magical number. Okay, so when you try to look into like all these small item details, okay, so when you have the abacus 6 itself, we have 7 is a good sign. Or if not, go for a 5. 5 means, right, okay, balance in all the 5 directions. That's why in Chinese, what we say, one of the choice in Chinese is 地主爷. 地主爷is the earth deity. It's also 招財運. It's actually one of the god of wealth that
gods.
actually brings in the wealth itself, right? And one of the things for earth god itself, you see, earth god, we actually reach out to the 5 direction. The center, north, east, southwest. Okay, so it's like fang tou. Okay, so either when you buy all these things, right, remember to go into the detailing of the 5 or the 7. That's why abacus is something that is very suitable for the rooster, because rooster, you have to remind yourself in 2019 to be very careful of things, right? Therefore, you can actually buy this and start counting. Okay, all right.
Double check, and then double check your own conclusions, your own perception, and your own ideas.
Oh, so Esther on here actually
Before taking
say that
action.
Yeah, 7 is my favorite number. Good.
Go.
All right.
Okay.
No, if you have any questions to ask, if you have any uncertainty, you're not sure, please ask them at the comment below. Okay, we'll also answer your questions. And of course,
Correct.
Also after that we'll go to the dog.
Yes.
Okay. Now the dog itself,
That
it's
one.
here.
Okay.
This is a very cute one.
Okay.
This reminds me of a very good friend's dog in Singapore, Raphael.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it's like when you look at the dog itself, right? One of the things that the dog, those of you born in the year of the dog, needs to pay attention to is the presence of the sickness charm. Okay, sickness charm, or in Chinese we call Bang Fu San. Okay, so sickness charm means what?
Sickness charms means there is a high likelihood for the year to actually be a little bit unhealthy, usually catching virus maybe you're having a sore throat, fever, and things like that.
Yeah, anything to do with health issues. So if you're born in the year of the dog, or if you know that you have a family histories of some health related issues, okay, the best thing for you to do before getting any like symbolic like reminder is of course go for a checkup. Because you know that in 2019 itself, we have to be practical. You know that the sickness charm is actually part of your star. So the chances of you getting sick is that. So you find that all this while, you came from a family background, a very healthy family background. You yourself all this while have been very healthy, going for regular checkup, very good. But let's say if you come from a family background, have some family histories or traits of some genetically inheritance health issues, or you feel that you are not really at your best of health all the time, the best thing is before the year even comes in February 4th, try to go for a full thorough body checkup. At least that's the best thing that we can actually do in order to prevent or to mitigate the impact of this negative stuff.
Correct.
Yeah,
and then what I always preach and what I always suggest as well, and I try to practice as much as I can, is actually on prevention.
Yeah.
That means taking care of your health, making sure that you eat healthily, you get enough sleep, you get enough rest, especially
work out. I always get that nagging. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, basically lead a well-balanced lifestyle and take care of your health. It's very important, right?
Yeah, which is very true, because at the end of the day, now, if you do not know something and it happens to you, it's not your fault, okay? But now, the thing is, once you have tuned into this Facebook Live, you have no excuse to say that you do not know. You know. If you know something and you still fall into it, it's a choice, okay? So you're not the victim, it's a choice. You choose to fall sick, okay? So therefore, right, after doing this, right, firstly now, you must actually start having plans to take care of yourself.
Correct.
Okay, living a better lifestyle, diet, okay, and workout. And of course, now sometimes we always have these resolutions. Again, end of the year, right? One of the most sought after resolutions will be losing weight. Okay, how many of you here have actually thought of like losing some weight? Now, be honest, huh? I know like most of you here actually might have that thought. Me too, okay? I just have to put actions into it. And I know if I want to work on something, it will happen, okay? So if you actually thought of like, okay, like losing weight and all that as part of your resolution, all right? The chances is after some times, weeks or days, you will forget. So the best thing for us to remind ourselves to stay on our goal to achieve a better health for 2019 is get something that reminds us that health is our priority. So instead of getting something that reminds us of wealth or reminds us of like relationships so much, because they will have different aspects to focus on, might as well get something to remind us on health.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
okay.
My favorite, of course, once again, is the
wu lou lah. Okay, see, the wu lou is like so hot selling. Okay, all right. They actually have limited stock of the wu lou, and also this is okay. The new stock is coming in. All right, it's not in yet. So, all right, it would be good for you, for those of you born in the year of the dog. So, if you're thinking, all right, you want to invest in something, right? You want to buy something that over the years itself, you know that is still valuable, the value is still there. At the same time, you can benefit from like, you know, making yourself feeling good. Okay, you can wear it out, feel good about it. Now, do consider check out on like the Wulo collections, okay? Or any collections that reminds you to actually pay attention or priority to your health. Okay, so especially those of you born in the year of the dog.
Correct.
Alright.
Ayaka says me.
Yeah, so if you are thinking about like going on a transformation, like me, okay, I'm due for another transformation because it's like, trust me, 2 to 3 years ago, I don't look like this, okay? Alright, so I'm bound for yet another focus, okay, or a goal on transformation. So if you want to transform yourself, means all this while, if you find that you have not been paying attention to your health, you have not been paying attention to your physical body, and this year you want to set that as a goal, of course, wear this. Plan. Okay, I'm not showing you my middle finger, huh? Okay, this is my ring finger. Okay, I'm trying to show you that there's a phoenix here that I'm wearing on. Okay, so if this is too small, you can't see, you can also see this.
Okay.
This is phoenix, this is fake.
This one is not for the finger.
Yeah, this is not for the finger, okay? You can actually wear this as a pendant or anything that reminds you of the phoenix. Now, why is it phoenix represents transformation? Because you see, if you read into the mythology of phoenix, okay, the mythology of phoenix itself, right? Phoenix rises from the ash. It means that you have to like, you know, burn, okay? It means you have to die first, okay? Die and burn and turn yourself into ashes and rise back up again as a phoenix. Okay, so in a way that phoenix symbolizes something as like total transformation and changing for the new. So if your vow is making a greatest change for yourself in 2019, transform yourself from the health perspective or the physical perspective, get something phoenix, okay, or symbols of like phoenix itself to remind you of this transformation. Okay?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, the fourth animal at the bottom of the list,
Yeah.
unfortunately, is the yong.
Yeah,
Okay.
the goat.
The goat.
Yes, okay. And then, now the goat itself doesn't have much auspicious stars. In fact, it has quite a number of inauspicious stars. And one of it that I've actually pointed out is actually the sky cry. Right, the sky cry means that there's a lot of negativity. So those of you born in the year of the goat itself, right? Now, try to avoid, in a way, how to say, sad or negative, a solemn sort of like environment.
Right.
Okay, try to get yourself into an environment which is more cheerful. Or you yourself as a goat, right, remind yourself to actually like, you know, if you need to feel sad, okay, if you have some sad feelings to express it, but only at that moment. Don't try to create an environment to prolong yourself in that situations. Now, you know why people like to always watch sad movies, sad drama series, sad love songs? Why they like all these things? Because they like to prolong that mood. Unless you are a writer, you are a like songwriter, it's different. Because you need to get into a mood in order for you to have the inspirations to write something, to pen something down. If you're not on that creative field, why are you getting yourself constantly into this negative environment? Now, the answer is because we want to victimize ourselves so that we can get validations. We can get like attention. So a lot of people out there, psychologically, right, okay, they like to victimize themselves. Every time they see someone, they will cry and they will tell you their same sad story. Okay, so if you're born in the year of a goat, by doing all these things is not going to bring you any good.
Right.
Okay, in fact, it's going to pull your energy down. You will have like worse year ahead. Okay, so if you're born in the year of goat, always remember setting yourself in a positive environment. Firstly, for your own, from your own self itself. Okay, always try to tweak your like energy to the positive side. Okay.
So that's the thing about the sky cries star.
Yeah.
Right, which literally tends to make one person cry a lot, isn't it?
Yeah,
and
cry a lot.
mope and be down in the dumps.
Alright, so
and
therefore,
to think negatively.
therefore, if you're always in the negative mode, right, okay, try to actually get something again like more passionate, more fiery, or more flowery, I would say. Because you see, like a lot of times, why people likes to decorate flowers at home, okay? Because the flower itself represents liveliness, okay? Especially red colors, it's liveliness, it's alive, okay? That you feel hope, you feel good, you feel loved, okay? So therefore, if you want to actually, like for the gold, if you want to invest, okay, in some gold ornaments or pieces, right, okay? Try to invest on something which is like cheerful, happy. Now you can see here, of course, we have like the kitty collection. Okay. The kitty collection is like, very happy, very happy cat, cheerful and all that. You also have, let's say for instance, the dragons collection itself, which is very aggressive. Okay, it's not a victim. Right, dragons are definitely leaders. Okay, you lead, you don't victimize yourself. Or you can also go into the flower collection.
The zinnia collection.
No, all the flower collection, of course. Now you hold this. I need to show off a bit.
Okay.
I have here, now this is pure gold, okay? Alright, this is really great. Now I have here this particular bracelet here is like a flower collection of pure gold. And you can see that it's a flower opening pattern over here made of red rubies. Again, ruby itself represents passions, fire. It lifts our energy up. Okay, so now, not to say that whenever I wear this, right, okay, suddenly I will be like xiong tao like that, I was like in trance. No, but every time when I wear it, okay, when I'm like in the midst of my work and whatsoever, any thoughts of negativity, any thoughts of victimization, any thoughts that I feel like, I've been like bullied or whatsoever comes to my mind, when I look at the flower, then I will remind myself, okay, to not stay on to those thoughts, to not be affected by those thoughts, okay? And anytime that you are trying to do something out of attention or validation, okay, when you look at the flower, you get reminded as well. Because when you look at an actual flower that blooms, right, a flower blooms not for the sake of other people to appreciate. They bloom because they just bloom. It's time for them to bloom. You see, you don't see a flower, right? Okay, they wait until got people come and walk across, then only suddenly they open. They don't. Okay, so the flower reminds us to be the best version of ourselves. Okay, not because we want someone to watch us, to pay attention to us, or validate us, just because we can. Okay, so anything symbolic when it comes to flower, it means that. Means those of you watching, if you're thinking to get some New Year present, some Chinese New Year present for your partners, loved ones, family, if you're thinking to get some like Valentine presents, right, okay, take note of all these symbolic things, okay? So instead of just spending money, getting something which is like, doesn't mean anything, it will be more thoughtful and more meaningful if you can get something that has a very in-depth meaning to it.
Correct.
All right.
And also, if you get something that you like and it's very pretty, you like looking at it, so obviously it's going to lift your mood, it's going to uplift you, and you will feel much better.
Yeah.
You don't have to think negatively and be in a bad mood all the time.
Yeah, Anthony from KK, Merry Christmas. All right, Merry Christmas, Anthony.
Same to you.
Don't forget, as I mentioned, those of you following us from KK, right, okay, on the 18th of January, all right, Tomei will be having their CNY launch at the Surya Mall outlet, okay, in Kota Kinabalu, Sabah. All right, 18th of January, all of you are invited. It will start about around 12:30. All right, if you're in KK, please make sure that you'll be there and meet up with me personally. If you have any questions, you can actually ask me there.
Correct.
All right.
So we've talked about many animal signs. Generally, most of them so far are not so great news now. Okay. Except for the monkey as well and the tiger, right?
Yeah. Now we have all the good news.
Finally.
Right. All 4 best animal signs.
Best animal signs, and this is of course an advanced preview, right?
Okay.
So, Jessie.
Yeah. So there's top 4 animal signs. Okay. The monkey, dragon, rat, and the horse.
Ooh, okay.
We have it here, right?
Yes.
Do we have it here?
I believe
Oh yes, we have it here. Okay, so this 4.
So let's flip again.
Alright.
We have reveal the top 4.
So sad, you see the dragon, we cannot find an actual photo. Alright.
Horse and monkey here. Correct.
Okay, so those of you who are under the influence of these 4 animal signs, the horse, the rat, the dragon, and the monkey, 2019 is all bright, shiny, and glittering for you, just like in a Tomei shop. It's like, I cannot help it. It's like all glitters here, okay? Really, but provided you are ready for it.
Yeah.
Now, readiness is very important. No matter how good your luck is, if you're not ready, you don't have the right mindset, you dare not take the right action, you are still filled with fear, okay? Whatever good animal sign that you go through, you will still not benefit from the auspiciousness, okay? So, the horse, the rat, the dragon, and the monkey, 2019 will be a terrific year for you. If you're ready, it will be a year full of opportunities.
Yep.
Alright,
okay.
So let's say now we break down. We mentioned about all these 4 first, then we can recommend from what category that they can actually buy or invest on to put on. Okay? So the horse.
Yes, the horse.
Yeah, the horse is the best.
Is your number one.
Yeah, my number one.
So
animal sign.
if you are born in the year of the horse,
Anyone out there born in the year of the horse?
if you have a horse in your 4 八字, any of the 4 pillars, year, month, day and also hour, congratulations.
Yeah, because the horse itself all guarantees or governs power and money. It's all power, authority, money. So we are thinking about like, how to expand your authority, power. You can get promotions, you can get pay rise and all that, provided you are ready. Alright? Don't just sit around, do nothing and expect people to give something to you, because it won't happen that way. Alright? So if you're born in the year of the horse, someone here born in the year of the horse, like she's beaming. Christine Wong, I suppose so, right? Okay?
Should be.
Right, so if you're born in the year of the horse, itself, 2019 is a very good year for power, status, authority, and also money. So it's a good year for investment.
Right.
Okay, it's a good year for you to actually look into expansion of your career or even your business. All right, so that's very good. And then the next one is the rat. The rat is actually like powered by the sun star. So the rat itself, in 2019 itself, not only power, but you also have a very good relationship luck. Right? Together with the dragon. Dragon and rat itself, both of you have very good relationship luck in 2019. Means your peach blossom level is at its peak. Now, peach blossom, when I say relationship or peach blossom, right, doesn't mean it has to be like affairs or like intimate relationship. Because you see, at the end of the day, businesses, all business or whatsoever, right, in our life itself, boils back down to connection, network, and relationship. So if you have a good relationship star that governs you, it means that you can make the best out of the connection that you have for the year. So for the rat and the dragon, focus on the relationship around you. People likes you, your likability level suddenly shoots up maximum. So therefore, remember, it will be the best year for you to actually reach out to people, try to pitch some ideas, close some sales. If you are working in the frontline industries, that will be even better. Means your job scope, you have to go out, meet with people, sales, marketing, business development. It will be an awesome year for you.
Right, so that's the dragon and also the rats.
The rats, and of course the monkey.
We have the monkey, which incidentally is actually one of the 4 animal signs which
offend the Tai Sui.
Correct, but it's actually number
2.
2.
Yeah, it's the top
Jessie's
2
list.
animal sign. Those of you, so those of you born in the year of the monkey, as long as you can manage your emotion. You don't have to suppress it, you just have to manage it, Right, as long as you can manage your emotion, 2019 will be money, money, money. Yeah, it's all about money. So you know that 2019 will be a very good year for you in terms of wealth.
Correct, and also expect the unexpected, right, as they say, for the monkey.
Yeah.
Yep, and the unexpected could actually be something good in the long term or in the medium term. So don't, be scared or put off by things which come out of the blue and all that. And who knows, they will actually transform into money-making opportunities, for example. Yeah,
and you know that in 2019 itself, right, always go for good deals in terms of investments and all that. That will be an awesome. If I'm not mistaken, right, I need to check. I remember there was a certain period not so long ago that the gold prices actually rise up to about 200, right? So I have some information there. Just not so long ago, probably last year or even the year before, it's 200 per gram, Now it actually goes down to 188 per gram. That's actually about 20 ringgit per gram, So now you know that the price already comes down. Now, trust me, don't expect it to go back down to 32 ringgit per gram. It will never happen. You wait long. Alright? It won't happen like that. So you know that once it has tipped on the graph itself, it's the best time for us to actually consider investment into it. Because you know that the graph itself, when it gradually comes down, it will go up again. And this is the natural, materials or the natural elements that is getting lesser and lesser by years. It won't it won't grow more of it. So it will become just more precious over time. So these are the things that, let's say, for those of you born in the year of monkey, identify and look into what are the great deals. What are the things which is a good buy for you? Because whatever that you invest in this year itself, it will bring immediate, if not a long-term results in terms of your investment.
Right.
That's good.
Correct. And in fact, for the investment side of things, right, there's this thing called I call it like annual goal, isn't it?
Yeah, Justin is actually one of my
Justin
clients.
is
Yeah,
a-
Justin Young said you're a
Justin
horse.
is a
Yes,
horse.
and you know what is, I've given you your strategy plan, you know what you need to work on, and you know that for the upcoming 10 years, 20 years in fact for your child, if I'm not mistaken, it will be very, very good. But depending on what is it that you actually put in effort to work on now.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. So Justin and also people born in the year of the horse and also the year of the monkey can also consider investing in annual goal.
Yeah.
Like the goal that they specifically
No,
issue.
actually, this
Which
particular
one?
thing which I want to talk
Okay.
about, this one is best for you. Let's say if you yourself is born on those animal signs that's offending the Tai Sui,
Okay.
or if you have like, you know, anyone in your house itself, especially Taoist now, this one is really, those of you who are watching from the sharings of Healing Temple, okay, so the temple, if you're watching through the sharings of Healing Temple, right, this year if you go against the Grand Duke Jupiter Fan Tai Sui, okay, now this is a good gift for you to give yourself or your family members, or at least get one and put it at home. Because this is what we call this, they call it the Ngat Sui Gam,
Okay,
the
that's that
Ya
one.
Sui
Okay,
Jin.
right.
You know my Mandarin not very good, okay? Ya Sui Jin. This is something to help us to appease the Grand Duke Jupiter. Now, means it serves as a reminder. So we have already talked about those. Oh, let me show you inside first. You hold this.
Okay, I open it.
Because that's the small one.
Okay.
I'll hold the big one.
Oh.
Hey, how come I can't open it? Oh yeah, it's like this. Okay, so you
Yeah,
see here,
sweet.
and these are two
See.
exclusive design of Ya Sui Jin that you can only get this in Dorme. You cannot get this anywhere else.
So this
Now,
is pure gold.
yeah, this is pure gold, 999.9. Okay, this is 1 gram, and this is 10 grams. Cannot remember my facts.
Okay.
Okay. All right. This is 10 gram, and this is 1 gram. Okay. Then of course it's like if you are born in those animal signs that go or offend, okay, the Grand Duke Jupiter, this will be a very good reminder for you. A good thing is an investment. At the same time, right, okay, and you put it on your office table, in your drawer, or you can actually put it in your wallet or whatever to remind you that this year you have to stay calm. Okay, don't get too emotional. You know that whatever things that comes and affect you is merely an impact of the Grand Duke Jupiter that is in align with your animal sign this year. As long as you have this reminder, the chances of you making mistake in terms of your actions or your decisions will be much lessened.
Okay.
Okay? All right.
So these we would recommend for the animal signs which offend.
Yes,
Grand Duke,
animal
right?
signs which offend the Grand Duke Jupiter, and not only that, because you know, not only for those of you who are Taoists, if you believe that every year you have to come to my temple to seek Tai Sui and all that, right? You get this. Now you know that every year, right, the animal that offend the Tai Sui, people who need to seek Tai Sui or go, like how to say, to bring up the Tai Sui, ngat Tai Sui, that means you have to suppress the Tai Sui so that your luck will be better that year. That's the whole purpose of like ngat Sui comes about. Because when you go to an actual prayer environment, right, they actually put this ngat sui kam. There's actually a kau. It's like one how to say, bricks of like this what we call the gamngan boa. You put underneath the Tai Sui to bring it higher. So now you can actually get it, okay, in this form, which is better in the sense that now you pay for this ngat sui kam and you don't have to burn it. You know, generally you're burning money. Okay, so this one you don't have to burn your money. You get it and you keep it, okay? And over time, it might make you money as well, okay? So when you do this, right, and those of you who go and to do Tai Sui prayers, right, not only the 4 animal signs, because every year, as Kong Yu has mentioned, there are altogether 60 Tai Sui. There are 60 different Grand Dukes, right, by name. And every year, if your surname goes against the Tai Sui, in a Taoist belief, okay, that year you also need to seek Tai Sui. It means you have to get one of this in order to bring up your luck.
Okay.
So besides the 4 animal signs, which is the pig, the snake, the monkey, and the tiger, in 2019, the Grand Duke Jupiter surname is Jie. Jie means chia or xie. Okay, all right? Is it xie? Yeah, okay? Means those of you with the surname of Chia or Jie, Sing Jie, okay, somehow you also offended Tai Sui. Because the Tai Sui, the Grand Duke Jupiter who is in reign for 2019, surname is actually Chia or Jie.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, because it's
Right.
more on the Taoist perspective. Okay, so if you're more on the Taoist perspective, these are the things that you do, like ritually every year. So remember, those of you with the surname of a Chia, you are also considered to be offending the Thai soil.
Alan Chia is watching.
Yeah. Oh, Alan also from KK. All right. Thanks for watching. Join us on the 18th of January at Surya Mall. Torme CNY Products official launch at 12:30. Okay. So remember, this is a Yasoikam, which is like, I will recommend this.
Okay. How about that one? Would you recommend this for investors?
I won't recommend this.
Yeah.
I will buy this, especially for my children, because it's very cheap. So I don't need to recommend, right? This is something that I will really buy. Because you see,
Okay, this one is.
even my kids nowadays, if you see them, right, they will be wearing something symbolic and meaningful, just like me. And you have to start them young, right? Instead of them like spending money on like, can I just mention some names here? Hopefully no one's from Starbucks is watching. Like imagine every day you have to spend money on Starbucks, especially festive season. Like one cup is 20 over the ringgit. It's like imagine 1 year, how much is that? Do the calculation. 1 day 20 ringgit. 10 days is 200 ringgit.
200, yeah.
1 month is 600 ringgit. 1 year is what? How much is are your kids spending on Starbucks?
That's if you drink every day.
Come on, coffee addicts, you drink every day. Trust me. All right? And 1 year, how much is that? 1 month is 600. 10 months is 6,000. 1 year is 7,002. Oh my God, can you do the calculation? All right, imagine it's like, I will not encourage or allow my kids to actually spend on this every day. Okay? Instead of that, take the money, okay, I think half of it. Okay, out of 20 ringgit per day, you take 10 ringgit per day and you put into a piggy bank. So that end of the year, like now, you can come to Tome and shop. Right, and instead of 7,002, right, you only like, okay, you have like now a budget of like 3,006. You know how much you can buy with 3,006? This is only 68 ringgit, am I right?
Yes.
This is only 68 ringgit because it's not pure gold. It is silver, it is pure silver, like, how to say, plated, okay, with gold. It is plated with gold. At the end of the day, you still have silver, but you know how much are these youngsters out there spending on silver? Whatever brands that is, it's just silver, or some of it's not even silver. It's just like whatever crap that is, okay? And they say, oh mom, this is cool and this is in. I say, forget about cool and in. Think practical. Really, so this is something that I would definitely get for children, especially, right, okay, because this itself, right, it comes with these two symbols. I have to show them, oh, maybe you can show them here.
Okay.
And this one you have to talk. This is talk about, okay, the front part is you can see this abundance of pay, okay, and then the back part is what we call this now. Pronounce this, what?
Nepenthes.
Nepenthes.
Picture plan lah. Is the easier way to say it.
Nepenthes.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Now, the pitcher plants, you know that nowadays you go outside, there's this really live plants that, Periocera, Malay we call it. Okay, this is like a carnivorous plant that 有殺錯冇放過. So if you go to casino, consider this. Buy silver first. Then after that, you will come back and you buy gold. Okay, because this is like something that actually like reminds you to take risks, to go out there, to be aggressive, to charge out in your life. Okay, because you have that plant behind, and this plant itself, right, eats almost anything that goes or comes into their way.
Pretty much lah.
Yeah, they just eat everything and they dissolve it, even the bones. Alright, so it's like it's a reminder for us. It's like whatever opportunity comes to us, say yes first, figure it out later. And isn't that the something, a message that we have to give out to our young ones? Now the younger generations, like whatever you try to ask them to do is like, okay, what am I gonna get out of it? Okay, what's the benefit? Right? So they will start asking all these things first. And now then they are asking us, is like, how come I'm not promoted? How come my boss don't look up to me? Because you are calculative in that sense, okay? So always remember, be like the Nepenthes.
Picture plant.
Okay? Be like a Nepenthes. Remind yourself. Say yes first. Figure it out later.
Okay.
Alright?
Going back to the monkey.
The monkey.
Monkey has a lot of, like good business luck, wealth luck, prosperity
Even
stars.
Chia say, cheaper than Quicksilver. Of course, forget about Quicksilver. Okay? Quicksilver. Okay, wait. Anyone here wearing Quicksilver? No. Alright? It's really, alright? So why don't you just get something?
Yeah.
It's like gold plated, it looks good on you, and it's big enough with the symbols, okay? And it makes a very good gift.
So that is affordable for many
It's
people.
really very affordable.
Good
When you
for
say that you
children.
cannot afford, it's an excuse, okay? This is merely like 3 Starbucks festive drinks.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, those that have all these wonderful stars, right, like the monkey and the rat and all that, so they can actually afford to invest in bigger pieces of gold.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah. If you save up 1 Starbucks a day for a year, you get 7,000 too. That's huge. I wonder how much is this? Okay.
More than
Is this more than 7,000? I don't think so. It's somewhere around there. Okay, never mind. All right. Okay. Right. So it's like 7,000 too. It's like any price tag over here. No, I'm trying to find the price tag over here. Right?
No, we'll come back to that.
No price tag. All right. Okay. What else?
Yes,
Did
so
we miss out anything?
We are done. Okay, let's just round up. Okay, so
Oh.
got-
Someone said rabbit. I
Oh.
know. We've missed out deliberately
Purposely,
some
right?
animal sign. Because we still have next week to
Yeah.
tune into. Okay? So if you have missed out your animal sign, alright? Right? Even though I've mentioned your animal sign, next week it will be a different content. Okay? So remember next week on January 2nd.
January 2nd, a
Alright,
week from now,
2019. That will be my first Facebook Live for 2019. Do tune in 8 o'clock. Okay, it's a special edition by Tomei as well. So we will talk about the rest of the animal sign and a deeper detail into some of the animal signs that we mentioned today.
correct.
Alright.
Yes. Just to wrap up, just for conclusiveness.
Okay.
Completeness. Sorry. Okay. So we have the horse, monkey, and even the dragon. They all have very good relationships, right?
Yeah.
The red matchmaker.
No, the
for
rat
example,
and the dragon especially, very
Correct.
good relationship.
Okay,
if
so-
you're single and available, this is your year.
Yeah, so that's a good year. What is a good symbol to wear for reminding on a relationship or working on relationships?
That's good. Okay. Now you can see, of course, now Phoenix is for transformation. Okay.
Okay.
Now relationship itself, they have like a range of relationship. Okay, here. This is good for relationship. I've actually picked out this range. Now this range itself is all about the mystic knot or the Yu Yi Gate. Okay. Now mystic knot or the Yu Yi Gate itself, right, is actually combinations of 6 infinity knots. Now why is it 6? Now see, for the Western people, right, they only talk about infinity knot, which is just like this.
Just
it's like a
one
figure 8, which is 1.
sleeping
Now
eight.
Chinese, we are more thorough, we are more detailed. We want 6 altogether. Why 6? 6 is Qian Gua. Okay, in Chinese I Ching itself or Feng Shui, right, you see number 6 itself is a number of the emperor. Okay, it's a Qian Gua or the Gua of the how to say, the most yang, the chief, like the emperor, the heavens Gua. Okay, so when you combine 6 infinity knots together, you get a mystic knot like this. And not only that, you see, it can actually. Yeah, it can actually turn and rotate. Now, rotating is very important. Why is it that I actually choose one of the pendant here also? This is 時來運轉 and 招財進寶. Of course, I want wealth lah. Money all the way. 幾貪錢呢? Okay? But actually, I choose this. See, again, it is actually like, you can turn it. Now, by turning itself, it's also a gesture for us to remind to actually be on the move. Now, one of the major obstacles or setback for people who are not making it in life is procrastination. You have lots of ideas, but no action. Okay, so when you get something which is like movable, like this, or like this, okay, whenever you're thinking or whatever, you can just play with it and move it. Okay, so whenever you have something that is movable, it just reminds you to actually like always constantly be on the move. Be able to change, be swift enough to adapt the situations, and do not procrastinate. Okay, so for relationship, of course, we have this mystic knots, which is very good for relationship. We have a ring as well. They have a ring over here, and of course, this is only parts of their collections. They have a lot of collections, which I cannot be showing you all of them. And of course, if you can walk into any Tomei outlets, and the good news is they are everywhere. Okay, here in like West Malaysia and also in East Malaysia. Just walk into any of their outlets. I think now onwards up to CNY, they already have all their CNY products on display. Okay, so you can actually go in and check it out. Now the thing is, like, always remember, you see a lot of people feels very like skeptical, see, I always see like people walk past the jewelry shop, right, and they dare not walk in, right? As if like people here bucks or can buy a diamond. I don't understand why. Okay, so remember, I see you look at all these ladies and gentlemen over here, they're like the sweetest ever. Okay, like don't be afraid to actually walk in. Always remember, you have a power to say no. If you find that the products is not something that you want, you can always say no, right? But never actually close doors. Alright? You can walk in and you get inspired, you can learn something new, you can see something different. Just go in, it's free. Okay? So once you go in, check out the products itself. Okay? So one thing, of course, this is something that you don't have to think last 68 ringgit, right? It's better than giving ang pao, right? Nowadays, for close people, family members, at least 50 ringgit or 100 ringgit. Right? This is only all this year you give 100 ringgit, this year Han fun. Okay? Save up that 42. Is it 42? No. 32. Okay? Save up that 32. See, I got problems with my maths. Okay? Save up that 32 and get this. It's only 68. But the thing is, people don't know, except those watching my Facebook Live. Alright? Or else, right? It will look something which is very, it's a very good gift to actually give to the people that you love.
Yeah.
Okay?
And this one's pretty cool, huh? It's
now,
like
this is also very good for relationship.
Yeah.
You can get this for New Year, you can get this for Valentine's, because it's a pair of the dragon phoenix symbol. Right? Because some, especially if I ask my children to wear something like dragon and phoenix symbols to enhance relationship, if you ask them to wear something like this, or like me, right, they will be like, yucks, mom, please, okay? I don't want to wear those birds on my ear to go out because it's uncool. So therefore, for people who are in the younger generation, you have children and you want them to actually make it in relationship. So for those of you mother-in-law's wannabe, okay, try to get this for your children because it's just a very very nice, gentle symbol. And when you look at it, right, you don't even you can't even really tell that they are dragon and phoenix symbol.
They're very modern.
They're very cool. Modern. Then they are on a leather strap and a leather band, which makes it very cool to wear. Okay, so this is also one thing that you can check out in terms of relationship, especially for the dragons and the rats.
Okay.
All right.
So we are saving some of the information for your next session with Nicholas.
Yeah.
Okay, so of course now they're asking, yes, spring cleaning.
Oh yeah, we still have to share about the days of spring cleaning. Oh my god.
What are the best dates for spring cleaning in time for Chinese New Year?
Now, so those of you who are thinking of having the intention to clear your environment, to clear your house, but yet, okay, this date itself, it won't affect the negative impact of your house feng shui because you're scared that you might trigger some negative impacts of your house or whatever while cleaning. Now, these are the very good and safe dates that you can use, okay? It's all in January, okay? So January 9th, which is a Wednesday, 2019, January 9th, Wednesday, that is a good day for you to use, consider using for spring cleaning, okay? That is good for the rat. Now, any hour of the day, as long as there is daylight. Now, I do not recommend any cleaning or whatsoever to get rid of old energy that can be done at night, okay? Always do it when there are the presence of the sun. Sunrise, okay, now sunrise itself, right, okay, technically based on Chinese metaphysics, sunrise at the Mao hour, means the rabbit hour, from 5 a.m. onwards, okay? So let's say for you in West Malaysia, probably you can wait until slightly later, up to about 7, okay? But in East Malaysia, definitely you can use the Mao hour or the rabbit hour, 5 a.m. onwards, because by 6 o'clock you see that it is already bright, okay? Alright, so these are the dates that you can use. The 9th of January, which is a Wednesday. But that day itself, those of you born in the year of the rats, you cannot use. Because it clashes with the rats. Alright, then the next day, if you can't use that, then you use the next day, which is on the 12th. The 12th of January is a Saturday. So if you need a weekend to spring clean your house, this is the one and only date that falls on the weekend. It's the 12th of January, 2019, Saturday, it clashes with rabbit. So if you're born in the year of the rabbit, you have an excuse not to stay in the house when your family members are spring cleaning. It means they clean up the house, you go and sit down at Starbucks. Or come to Tommy for shopping. Alright?
Or on the 12th.
Right,
come over to Wisma Bentley.
Oh yes, we'll talk about that later. Okay, the next day itself is on the 17th. 17th of January, Thursday, it clashes with the monkey. The monkey cannot use this date, okay? Generally, the rest of the animal sign can use 17th. And the last date will be on the 24th. 24th January, which is also a Thursday, it clashes with the rabbit, okay? Summarize on the 9th, the 12th, 17th, and the 24th. These are the 4 dates that you can choose and use safely for spring cleaning without having the fear of triggering any negative elements or Feng Shui sector of your house.
Okay, quick question. So we are talking about initiating or starting the spring cleaning, right?
Yeah.
It's just the date and the time to start spring cleaning.
Yes. Okay, so you can actually initiate and start on that day and continuous on, because probably your house is like a garage, okay? It's full of like overwhelming, like, I won't say rubbish lah, but like,
Things to clean up.
Things to clear off, okay? Probably you need more than 1 day. So you just initiate and start on that day and you can carry on.
Right.
Okay, so again, of course, don't forget to tune in again for Facebook Live next week. The first official Facebook Live 2019, 2nd of January, which is a Wednesday at 8 p.m. Okay, there will be a Cantonese session, and of course, I will have my other guest, which is the other host for my annual event. I'll have Nicholas on that particular day itself. Okay, so for those of you who have not known that I have a full, very, how to say, intensive, okay, informative, okay, sharing about Feng Shui and astrology talk of 2019, to know into greater depth and details, okay, of your own personal party chart. It means it will be definitely much more than just animal sign.
Correct.
It's into your entire whole party chart and how you can actually like mitigate from terms of Feng Shui and also auspicious date selections. We do have this event in KL on the 12th and 13th January, Wisma Bentley, okay? And we are still selling the tickets now. So for those of you, okay, who are following, our early bird price actually ended on the 26th. But only for those of you who follow Tomei Facebook Live, if you're interested to get the ticket itself, do actually send a message to our Facebook page, or actually send a message or call up to my office to get the ticket itself at the early bird price.
Correct. So that's
Okay.
12 and 13 in PJ, Wisma Bentley.
Okay, and those of you in East Malaysia, in KK, Kota Kinabalu, right, the session also main sponsored by Tomei. It will be on the 19th and 20th, the following week in Kota Kinabalu, Sabah, January 19th and 20th. But before that, please do remember to drop by on the 18th of January at Tomei Surya Sabah Mall, okay, for an official launch of their CNY products. Okay, 12:30 in the afternoon.
That's right.
All right, so see you all there.
See you all there. And just a quick question here from Brian.
If you have any more questions, do comment it on the Facebook Live, because next week when we get back on the Cantonese sessions, we will also try to answer your questions.
Brian asked, what if he already started spring cleaning?
Okay, it's alright. I've already done mine. Because like by next month itself, I have no time to do it. I already started since last month. So if you already started spring cleaning, it's fine. Okay, it's totally fine. So for those of you who have not started, these are the dates that you can use. Now again, for those of you, what if I can't make any of those dates? Forget about date selection. Just spring clean anytime that you want. Okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you so much for tuning in. All right, thank you so much. And okay, right. I think you have to just do this. It's like you're dreaming away, right?
Okay.
Thank you so much for tuning in. See you all next week on the 2nd of January on the Cantonese session. All right. Have a great week ahead, and of course, Happy New Year. See you next year. Bye bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Take care. And signing out of Tomei Pavilion.